What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Yes, we're bringing back the ladder casts. No SDS this week. Not sure when season 4 is going to start, and I'm also going to be going on a little adventure here. Not exactly an adventure, but I'm going on a road trip to Tokyo. I'm taking my mother-in-law who had a stroke last year. She's doing a lot better, but she wants to go visit family in Tokyo, so going to be driving her all the way to Tokyo. It's about a 7-hour drive and a 7-hour drive back, so I'm going to be gone for a few days. I wanted to put together a little pack for you guys to watch while I'm gone, and oh boy, have I ever found one. I'm going to be splitting it up into 2 different videos, but I've got a huge amount of effort replays to go through here. We're going to be starting with Effort versus Quickly. Yes, Quickly. We haven't seen him for a long time either. Quickly's a guy that I covered on the channel quite a bit, and interested to see how he does against Effort. Let's go ahead and change up the colors here. Brown is not my favorite. We've got Quickly in the blue over in the top right, and Effort down here in the bottom left, opening with an overpool. Nice standard ladder build. I'm a big fan of the overpool. I've been messing around with 12 hatch a little bit more recently, but there's just so many ways you can punish it. And there's no real easy way to punish a 9 pool, or an overpool, excuse me. Aside from just getting super greedy and going Nexus first or something like that. If you go really, really heavy greed, you can definitely get ahead economically of the Zerg player. Just 2 lings out here initially. There is a zealot out on the map. The drone has seen the wall in, and he knows that it is indeed a gateway first. But a pretty greedy gateway into Nexus here. No forge at all. And so, with constant ling production, could become a problem for Quickly to deal with. Nice job sniping down that probe. Not able to get a block going on that 3rd base. Would have been quite annoying if you'd thrown down a pylon there. Maybe didn't have the money for it at that moment, but Effort managed to get his 3rd down unimpeded there, and he's continuing to just put a little bit of damage on here. This is something he can do only until this 3rd zealot comes out. Once the 3rd zealot is out, then the games are over. Gotta go back to running around and can't really hit any of these buildings or try to sneak by here. Probe on the ramp is being forced, which is something. Some more lings have been made. Actually, in fact, a lot more lings have been made. 8 lings. This does slow down the build quite a bit for Effort. And the reason we're covering Effort today is I'm just very excited to see him coming back to Broodwar. He's been gone for quite a while, and I'm very excited to have another big contender, somebody who can actually... It's funny to see him coming back at the same time as Flash, because he's the one guy who could actually beat Flash consistently. So it's funny that he's coming back at the same time as potentially Flash is going to be in the ASL. Slipping into the main base here. Could end up doing quite a lot of damage. We've got some of these probes at a lower HP. The lings here, all pretty healthy. That run by allowing that big mistake from Quickly. Almost gets surrounded on this one zealot. In fact, takes a lot of damage. Going to tuck himself in between that pylon and forge now. One zealot here chasing everything around. If you wanted to, could go for a follow-up of just a whole bunch of lings coming across to try and break open this natural. Oh, it's gonna lose that. Did manage to kill a couple of lings, but not the damage he was looking for. And there's Speed. Speed just finished now. There's still some lings over here in the natural. Zealots are moving out. I don't know if that's the right choice here for Quickly. Could get himself in a lot of trouble sending those zealots out right now. One zealot here back at home, trying to keep things safe. They come out and try to challenge us. 2 zealots walking across the map. I think that Effort really has everything he needs to shut that down. Starts his Spire, but the Spire is pretty far behind the curve here of this Stargate. Stargate should finish and get a Corsair across the map by about the time this Spire is halfway done. If he starts it right away, he hasn't started it yet. And so he's a little bit slow on that, cutting off some of that time, that window. Instead, focusing on getting these Zealots into good position. Looks like they managed to kill a couple of Lings, but nothing too impactful here. And yeah, this Zealot will end up going down. So, fifth hatch has been added. No sixth hatch just yet. +1 air weapons, +1 ground weapons. We've got speed already on the way for Zealots as well. So he's going for a bit of a heavier tech play. No DTs here just yet, but he really wants to get this Zealot speed online quickly so that he can put on some very aggressive pressure. There's the Spire finishing up, and yeah, this is coming in as the Spire is finishing, so can't really get too much damage, it looks like. Might be able to find an Overlord on the exit, but probably won't even get this one. Might bring it really, really low. Let's see. Is he going to be able to get it? He does get that. Scourge popping out right after the fact. +1 attack on the way. We've got Overlord speed, of course, Hydralisk speed as well. Looks like he'll be focusing on primarily a ground-based army. Putting out a bunch of Hydras right now to deal with these Zealots and whatever Zealot follow-up is coming. It's interesting putting the Evolution Chamber at the top there on the left. I usually end up putting it right there, but it's gonna help him out here because coming in from this angle, I go after that Evolution Chamber. Maybe he can target it down. Uh-oh, Evolution Chamber getting pretty low, and the Hydras are not putting on enough DPS. Yeah, look at that. He is gonna kill it without it even getting halfway done. So has to start another Evolution Chamber, and he's gonna be behind in upgrades this game. This is kind of like Hydras running up and sniping the Forge at the front of the natural. It's a pretty big deal on both sides if you snipe a upgrade, and he did it with just a few Zealots being lost. He threw away the majority of his early army, but got a lot done with that. Now has photon cannons coming up behind this. He's got his Templar archives with Storm on the way. Gonna get some Templar out here soon, and he just has to remake. Throws down a 6 hatchery. Might go into a 4th base here, because he knows that quickly doesn't have a good enough army count to push out. They're just waiting for that Storm. There's a potential for him to, you know, go bigger, go wider. Yeah, there's the second Evolution Chamber. I think that the timing here where you can just go into layer tech and just stay on layer tech and try to bully the Protoss player into not getting a 3rd and 4th base, I think that's not really going to work out too well without that +1 upgrade. You know, none of these upgrades have been slowed down, so Zealots are going to be 1-1 before they're going to have +1 attack finished up here for effort. So going a little bit wider, trying to get a 4th base online and maybe go into Hive, I think that makes a lot of sense. He's started up his +1 Carapace. Has Lurker upgrade on the way as well. Coming out to challenge here. Only 4 Corsairs on the field. Easily just make a few pairs of Scourge and track those down. That's something that I need to work on as well. Like, recognizing that this is not a huge Corsair fleet. And if you just make a few pairs of Scourge, that could just shut it out completely. You don't have to worry about keeping Hydras back at home to constantly defend Overlords if you do that. In fact, you will lose a Corsair there. Zealots have made their way all the way around the side. Yeah, I make the mistake pretty often of thinking like, oh god, Corsairs are out and I'm not going full on into air. I better keep Hydras back at home, but that's not always the case. It's not always necessary. Looks like this fourth is going to take some damage, but he did manage to catch and kill a lot of zealots recently. Ling makes its way over to the top center. He spots this base. Hydra harassing these Corsairs down in bottom right at the same time. Being pushed back here. Storm on the eggs. Good old Storm egg. One more. Finish those off. He has to cancel. Getting some of that money back, but still frustrating to lose a bunch of lurkers here. Getting on top of those eggs is one way Zerg players often end up losing. By losing those eggs. Pushing out on the map. This is a small army though, and the Hydras are on top of this third base already. Trying to take a third at the mineral or at the gas location is a bit greedy for quickly. Might want to just fall back and take his mineral only instead. It's a lot easier to defend. And effort seems to be all over him when it comes to shutting down these expansions. Going after a Dragoon, but immediately the return storm. I'm going to clear all of that out. As soon as he chases too far, going to slip in behind this army and get these lurkers up on the high ground. This is a great play from effort, but he gets caught up with his lurkers and hydras here. Eats a huge storm in the middle of that army. If he had been a little bit smoother in getting the lurkers up on this high ground, he would have easily broken this base, I think. Having this many lurkers with no observer, it's going to be very hard to clear that out. Oh, another big storm there on the left-hand side. Finally, an observer comes forward. He will not lose the Nexus, and the Dragoon number is starting to get pretty high, so cleaving through those lurkers is not going to be nearly as much of a problem now. +1/1 is done. He has not started. Okay, he did now just start Carapace +2. I believe it's 1/1 here as well. Yes, so even on upgrades, that's pretty good for the Zerg. And in fact, he can start to switch over into Ling production soon, and that will really round out this army and allow him to cleave through these Dragoons a lot better. Running right up on top of this, he's recognized that there's not quite enough storm to hold all these Hydras back. The Hydras just pushing through, getting these great trades here, killing off a lot of Dragoons. It's starting to become a worse trade now that the Hydras are in such low number, but still, cleaving off a big portion of these Dragoons is quite significant, especially while transitioning, right? He's got the Queen's Nest on the way. Gonna go ahead and keep these upgrades rolling, get some more hatches out here as well. Zealots making their way down to bottom center. Might be able to force a cancel here. Yeah, it does force the cancel. That's a little bit frustrating for effort. Doesn't have another drone anywhere else to just immediately throw down a fifth base. This base up on high ground shouldn't be allowed to stand. Quickly gonna be pulled back and forth up onto the high ground, and then he can come over to this mineral only as well to try and contest at both locations. Here we go. Lurker wall there at the front, trying to make it hard for the Zealots to engage, but doesn't really work that well. Lurker wall hardly blocking at all. He does manage to target down the Archon in the middle of that combat, but does have to fall back, and it looks like we are going to have that 4-base economy for quickly. Fifth base over in top left, making a lurker egg on the ramp is going to allow him to at least delay this push from quickly. Quickly going to move as fast as he can around this block. It looks like he's blocked himself actually with this cannon placement. Can't get the Dragoons through that area, and so doesn't seem like he'll be able to easily move up to top left to deny that base over there. Lurkers over here, just a couple. The sunken colony, that's enough to deal with the Zealots. Yeah, you just gotta run from this. Definitely not gonna be too good for him trying to fight into that force. The Lings are gonna get ahead in upgrades, guys. We've got +1 armor. +2 is about to finish, and there's only +1 attack, and +2 is on the way. So there's going to be a long period of time here where Effort will have superior Ling upgrades, and look at this. He gets in, kills some probes over here. He gets rid of the cannon as well. So just doing a little bit of harassment tactics, starting to move around the outside of the map and just look for opportunities to maybe snipe down a Nexus. Not able to get it here. Too many Zealots, and of course the storms are going to come into play. So he just backs away. Not a whole lot lost there for that little bit of damage. Observer making its way top left. Really wants to try and break this if he can before a Nidus comes up. We might have a Nidus on the way right there. Yeah, Nidus is on the way. It's going to be connected now. Gonna buy some time with a Lurker Egg. Just trying to get all that online. A lot of Lings heading up north, by the way. Tons of Lings heading up north. Lurkers spreading out here. Target down that Templar if he can. Bringing over some more of this army. Lings are going to come all the way up here. Looks like he was targeting onto the Templar in this forest, but he will get surrounded onto a lot of these Dragoons. Now, he's not dealing a lot of damage with the Lings here just yet, because +1 is not even done. So the Lings, although they don't die that quickly, they also don't deal that much damage. They're just very good as fodder. They do not die quickly, and the Zealots take some time to get rid of them. And so they're just going to stand in the way of the Zealots and Dragoon army as it tries to push forward and get on top of these Lurkers. Lurkers are what really are going to deal this damage. They've got the +2, 24 damage per hit. And that is splash damage, so they are dishing out the damage like crazy. However, they do get hopped upon by Storms and Dragoons very quickly when there's not that front line of fodder to stop them. First Defiler is out here, and is that the natural? We're a bit lacking on Lurkers here for effort. In fact, he's gonna hop some Lurkers back through the Nidus now and bring them over here to defend. Don't want to allow the Protoss player to suddenly attack the natural, and oh gosh, these Lurkers are completely stuck. You might have to kill this sunken colony just to get these things moving again. A base over in center right is going to be taken, and there's not too much effort can do about it. Effort, I think his primary goal will be stopping quickly from taking this bottom right. How are we doing on Plague? Looks like Plague is done. We're gonna see the first Plague of the game here coming out in just a moment. Dark Swarm gonna eat one more Ling, so he has enough for that Plague. Big Plague in the middle of all these Dragoons. Very nicely done. Lings, once stuff has been plagued, then they can really chunk through everything. They're not dealing too much damage just yet, but they really deal a lot of damage once that Ling is done. Well, once that Plague comes through, excuse me. That Plague on everything. Oh, Plague on one single Zealot. Not the most efficient trade, but wanted to get that energy off before losing the Defiler. A lot of production here for effort. Where is he going to move his army, though? Is he planning on a counterattack? Is he planning to try and shut down this base center right? Does he need to reinforce and try to surround this army in the top left? Looks like he's planning to get in here and try to shut down this base right here, right now. There's no Templar on the high ground. One Templar going to come up from behind here. Can I get a money Storm to try and shut this down? Yeah, Storm on 2 Lurkers, but it's not going to be enough. Army's coming up from both sides, and it's going to surround and kill this Nexus. Meanwhile, the Protoss army is not really getting too much done. It's just kind of wandering around in the middle. It's going to come down here, try to clear this up. Dark Swarm on the Lurkers just to delay that as much as possible. Now he'll look for a Plague. We get a big Plague here. Oh, nice Plague there on a bunch of these Dragoons. And of course, he gets the Observer as well, which can be quite impactful. Sniping those Observers is, well, it's at the best of times hard to keep those Observers alive, but when they've been plagued, man, do they ever go down quickly. Over here at the natural and third base, Lings of effort are going to get in and start to deal some damage. This little choke here. There must be like 20 Lings dead right there. At least 12, bare minimum. Taken out at that one position. 9 kills, 2 kills there. Of course, the cannons have a significant number as well. Ooh, the Defiler gets sniped. That's kind of a big move there for quickly getting rid of that Defiler, because that was definitely going to be leverage to get on this high ground, and his Reaver just popped out. So it's not got those Scarabs here just yet to deal with a Defiler Dark Swarm push. Lurkers here on the high ground, spreading out now just to deny this base. He's not intending on taking this or holding it, but instead just hoping to kill that probe. And oh, he can cancel now? Cancel and kill the probe? Oh, sick move there from Effort. Making the Lurker to keep the Hydra alive and then using the Hydra to kill the probe. He could have gotten this High Templar as well, but wasn't target firing there. Other things, he's got bigger fish to fry. Looking at the other side of the map, +3 is done. He's gonna get 3-3 here on all of his units soon. Whereas, I guess there's just 2-2. 3 attack is done though for quickly, so he will be able to get through the excuse me, no, he will not. He will not be able to 2-hit the Lings for the rest of this game. Got a little bit mixed up there. Oh, almost getting the Reaver, doing a lot of damage to it, but the Reaver manages to hold strong. Quickly coming up from behind here. Finding a couple of Storms. Storm here at the front. Trying to push everything back. One more Storm. But a few probes were actually stormed there to just save that base. That's a nice line of Zealots with an Archon behind. That Archon makes all the difference in the world to clearing up these Lings. And so very strong position here. Definitely quickly will get this base online, but it's been slowed down significantly. And in the meantime, Effort stretching out into the bottom side of the map. He may be able to get down into bottom right. That's what he'll be angling for here for the future. And also this base as well. Of course, you want to get that online eventually. It's not that important though. Quickly is never going to be able to take that without killing off the base up on the high ground first. Ling's making little counterattacks happen. Trying to get in here and there. Maybe snipe a Templar or two. Force a few Storms. Kill a Zealot here on the ramp. Go in, maybe kill a Probe or something like that. Just getting little bits of value here and there. He's got plenty of income, and so pumping out these Lings is no problem. He's going to be able to make an insane number of Lings to just keep on forcing little trades here and there, and the Lings are trading very well now, especially with that +3 attack coming up. They trade incredibly well. Scarab damage on the way here for Quickly. As he moves to the middle of the map, we might get a big engagement here finally, where Quickly's full army gets brought to the forefront. Flag there on the front line as a Dark Storm gets thrown down and units are brought to the front to contest. Might even catch this Archon here at the back of the pack. Lurkers pushing forward. That's a big chunk of Lurkers. If he was to get a Storm on that, it would be deadly, but wasn't able to find it there. Too panicked, pulling everything back and away. And in fact, Effort has completely matched Quickly in terms of supply. There's a few Storms going down. Good Storms actually picking off a Defiler as well. Archon's going to come forward now that the Lurker number has thinned out. Another big Plague here on the back line. Gonna go ahead and throw down another Dark Storm here as well, but both Defilers do go down and he can't get another attack going on this side. He is starting to take, however, the bottom right. This is the point of contention on the map. If Effort can hold that base, he should be able to win this game. It'll be up to Quickly to identify it and get down there, either with Reavers and Shuttles or Zealots or DTs. Whatever it is he can get down there to start to shut that down will be important. He's got the Observer down here, and I think he's about to spot it. There it is. He does see it, so he's going to move directly to go and try to attack that. Great Storm here, dealing with most of these Lings, and so this base over here is going to stand. Very important that he keeps this high ground, by the way. That high ground position, once Lurkers get up there, it makes it very difficult for the Protoss to move around the map successfully. What is he doing? He's not sending the Zealots? Okay, 3 Zealots are going to head over there. Some High Templars here at the backside are going to be caught. And look at this. Lurkers will make their way over here to the top. And the rally is now open season. Zealots here. Climbing up onto high ground. Going to push everything back. But Lurkers in behind. Does manage to finish a couple of cannons here. And so we'll be able to take out a Lurker without too much trouble, and looks like he will kill the hatchery down bottom right. It's kind of a big moment here for Quickly. Taking a couple of wins. He defends the high ground at his natural third, and he kills the base down in bottom right. So as long as he continues to do that, continues to make it hard for Quickly to hold, or for Effort to hold the bottom right, there's a good shot here for Quickly. Pushing in now with some Reavers. The Plague's gonna come down. That's a big Plague. You really want to get that Plague down in order to clear out these Reavers. Gonna shoot one Scarab. See if it can connect. Yes, it will. And you can even take out the hatchery with this, by the way. The hatchery might end up going down there. These Reavers are extremely powerful. Might want to make some Scourge to start trying to deal with these shuttles. There's only one slow shuttle for the time being. He's gonna go for the Reaver and the shuttle. Can he actually get either? Does get one of those Reavers. The shuttle is very low on HP. He cannot pick up and run away with that. Again, slow shuttle here. He hasn't afforded that upgrade yet. In fact, he's still very low on gas. Maybe can't afford that as he just continues to pump out Templar, Storm, Reavers, and Dragoons, pushing here right up onto the ramp. A lot of Defilers are coming down here to try and get Plagues on everything. In fact, everything has been plagued now. That's a lot of Defilers, man. Losing a ton of Defilers here trying to come down this ramp. Not sure what's going on with Effort right now. Let's take a look at his mineral patches. Looks like he's got this base here and this base here fully mining. This base is about to mine out, and it's going to be down to one base mining here pretty soon for Quickly. For now, though, 3 bases rolling. He's got a significant amount of income. Lurkers are going to burrow here on the high ground. He's got to target down this Reaver. This Reaver is going to do so much damage, so much work if it continues to be juggled up and down. And holding this ramp, here comes the hatchery down here in bottom right. He has to get this up while simultaneously holding back any pushes into that top left. Quickly is bringing a probe over here. Is he really going to try to build a Nexus? He will try to hold a Nexus here on the low ground. It's so hard, so difficult to do when the Zerg has this high ground. Where's the Plague? Oh my god. He didn't throw down a Plague. He could have gotten a Plague on the Reaver and clumps of Zealots over here on this side, but he doesn't manage it. Attack coming down at this vector, and Effort has a good trade over on this side at least. Trying to come through. He actually kills the Observer and not able to get the shuttle, but this is going to become a really weird game if Quickly holds this low ground. Eventually, Effort will mine all of this out, and if he gets bottom right, I think that still might be a win for him. He's going to have mined way more than his opponent. And Lurkers coming up here, but of course, with some Storms and a couple Zealot attacks, he will be able to clear that. A lot of Reavers over here. Guys, we're having a big attack coming down this ramp. Dude, the Lings coming down the ramp are getting such bad trades. Oh my god. 15 kill, 22 kill Archon. How many kills on this Reaver as well? I'm sure it's insane. A huge kill count on that Reaver. Looks like a drone or a Defiler came down. I think it's a drone got caught there. Only a few Lurkers up here on high ground. Nidus Canal is not attached yet. He actually needs to get down here and defend this. Oh, trying to dodge the Storm. Doing the best that he can, blocking these Zealots coming up the ramp. Lurkers are doing a great job. These Lurkers are going to be able to kill a lot of the Zealots before they get in on top of this, but he's going after the Nidus. Can he get any units through that? No! No units make it through, and this is a really big moment for Quickly as he pushes through and gets on top of these drones. Effort, his army just not reacting. He's got to get down here and stop this. He has to keep this this hatchery alive. Another round of Lynx pops out. Looks like that round of Lynx plus the Lurker should be able to deal with this. All right, so more Lynx are going to have to be brought up. And the drones are going to fight here. Meanwhile, an attack over to center right. Wants to shut down this base of quickly, but that's a lot of storms here being leveraged out, actually killing a lot of these Hydras as they come in. Some Lynx are going to be brought up as well. Can he target down the Nexus? Do something here to get value out of this attack. Going after the Archon here with the Hydras. It's a good target fire. Some very good target fire from him. But it looks like quickly will hold. And there's almost nothing down bottom right to defend. He's got to get another army down there. Wasted, I think, a little bit too much trying to come down this ramp, guys. 28 kill Reaver. 16. 15. So many kills on these Reavers. As all that army tried to come down there. And now Ling's trying to run by and just get on top of this Nexus. Oh my gosh, he might actually get it. Yeah, with the +3, these Lings kill the Nexus so quickly, and so he will finish that off. Big moment here for effort, actually, as he kills that. That might be the difference maker. There's no money back at home. This only base mining is this one right here. That is it, and I think we're going to have Guardians coming up here soon. In fact, Greater Spire on the way. He is building a ton of sunken colonies down here in bottom right. Does not have a Nidus critically, though. No Nidus Canal. So relying purely on sunken colonies, and Sunkens just do not have the same kick in the late game as they did in the early game. The Sunkens do not benefit from any sort of upgrades, whereas the Zealots and Archons, Dragoons, they absolutely do. So these sunken colonies, they're not going to do too much. They are going to, you know, poke a little bit here, the Zealots, but even just these Zealots could take out the Archons pretty efficiently. Now, if there was a plague, that would change the math there, but look at this. He's just going to run right up on this. I don't care if you've got 10 sunken colonies. It does not matter. I'm going to break right through this, and oh, the ramp gets stormed as well. A lot of those drones end up going down. We're at 50 drones still. And here comes that Guardian attack. One High Templar here with 15 kills. He's got to spread these Guardians out a little bit. He actually, in fact, if he just goes and kills that High Templar, he should be fine to break through here. One more storm there. He's got one more after that. 75 energy remaining. Okay, there's actually more than one High Templar. That one was hiding behind an Archon. Looks like he's going to lose a Reaver here practically for free. That Reaver is going to end up going down. Wrapping around here, going up to... Oh, he stormed his own units. Oh, he killed his own High Templar. Panic storm there from quickly. Looks like he will lose a Guardian there for free. Gotta target down these Reavers. These Reavers are what should be the target here. If he can just get rid of the Reavers... Look at these Reavers so low on HP. If he just targets them, then he could just break this with ground army. Go, 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 target the Reaver. He's not doing it, and he doesn't have bottom right anymore. Gonna come down here with the Plague, throws that down. He gets it on some of these Templars. Well, that does help to get rid of the Templar, but the Archons being targeted it's just not right. He absolutely needs to get rid of these Reavers so that he can break through with Ling Hydra. Here comes a big army towards the natural at this point in the game. It's typical that the Zerg player doesn't have very much defending their natural, and so a big attack could actually do a lot. Still continuing to just spread the Guardians and try to take as little damage as possible. It's not working out too well, though, and he hasn't killed all these Reavers yet. Again, 2 HP on that Reaver. Of course, 80 shields, but he can chunk through that pretty quickly. Looks like he will, in fact, lose the majority of these Guardians, and he's having a hard time shutting down this base for quickly. Quickly's reestablished center right as well, by the way. Single Zealot down here in bottom right. Doesn't he have Burrow? If he had Burrow there, that would be an easy way to save those drones. Still 47 drones in total. Time to pull away some of these lurkers from these other positions. In fact, he's pulled away most of them. Just get all the lurkers that he can down to bottom right and just hold that spot. He absolutely needs the space. He needs to keep it online. That Nexus is super low too from all the plagues that have gone down. Oh, pull the drones back. What are we doing? Effort. Ah, the drones, my friend. What are we doing? Oh my god. No storm. All right, that is crazy that he let those drones long distance mine there. Loses a Defiler coming down to bottom right as well. That's so bad. This army coming down here, if there was a plague for it, would make it so much easier to defend. The lurkers they absolutely cleave through these zealots if they have a plague on them. So big sad that he didn't throw down a plague there with that one single Defiler that came down from the flank. There's a plague finally, and a lot of lings are popping out here along with the lurkers. He will be able to hold this back for now. Another great plague there, hitting a lot of lurkers under this Dark Swarm. Ling's gonna come forward to try and clean this, but okay, Ling's, I mean, fighting under Dark Swarm, it does help, but still, the Archons deal so much damage with that Psionic Shockwave. My goodness. Lurkers are going to have to spread out, and that's going to open up more pathways for Zealots and Archons to get up here onto this high ground, bringing some Lings around, but there's 3 cannons here to defend. Can 6 Lings beat 3 cannons? The answer is no. Decisively no. More Lings and Lurkers are going to be coming through this Nidus Canal. Still holding top left. This is a crazy situation with the enemies mining so close to each other. In fact, he mined out here. That's crazy. Completely mined out of that base. I'm gonna go ahead and fight this. Dark Swarm on top of it. Surrounding with Lings. It's still such a rough fight for the Zerg trying to fight these Archons like this. Even with the Dark Swarm. Look at how many are being killed. 21 and 15 kills on these Archons respectively, and the Lurkers go down. I think that Quickly might have done it here just now, breaking through all of these forces, and he's managed to make it happen. GG is called. Effort taps out. What a first game, guys. What an incredible first match to start us off. Next up, we've got Light versus Effort, and guys, I forgot to mention that these games were all played in June of 2025, so extremely recent. All of these replays that we're going to be looking at today. Effort has been grinding on ladder, and we're here to celebrate him, shine a spotlight on Effort and how he's doing right now against some of these top players. Light is his opponent down here in the bottom left. Of course, one of the greats. Looks like there's a little chatter between them. I didn't find this replay myself, so I don't think I can look that up, but shout out to Dude Nerd for sending me this replay, or for providing this replay. Maybe just a little chatter, letting Light know that he is indeed Effort. And we're here on Dominator. Overlord making its way down, gonna get into position over top of this natural first, which is always beneficial for the Zerg player. With this position on Dominator, there's a huge problem here, which is this dead zone in behind the main and natural. You can see that Mutas can fly down here without Marines being able to contest that. And so where do you actually place your turrets? Generally, you end up placing your turrets in front of the CC and gas, and then another one here and another one in the natural, right? You want to get the main mineral line, or the natural mineral line. But it really does present a problem. This is the worst spawn on Terran for Terran versus Zerg on Dominator for a reason. You kind of want to spread your turrets like around here, but then if the mutas get back here, you want your turrets over here or in the mineral line. So it's hard to cover this gas and this over here, plus your buildings down there. And then if you build your turrets like along here as well, which you want to if the mutas are harassing there. If the mutas slide through, then they can harass down at the bottom, which means you'd rather have your turrets more like this. So it's really hard. There's a lot of hard decisions to make here as the Terran player if you are going to play just straight up bio. And it looks like, you know, opening up with a 12 hatchery here effort. Just going to play a macro game to start. Will Light switch it up and go into something like a very quick Valkyrie? I think that could be a solid way to open here to kind of mitigate those circumstances, to try and metagame this map, because trying to defend all of these positions as Terran can become quite the nightmare. That's enough about that. That's enough about the map. We've talked about it so much in our casts for SCSL and, of course, ASL and that kind of thing. So I just wanted to quickly mention, but let's see how Light decides to deal with it. He actually adds a second barracks. I'm surprised by that. Not going into an early gas and trying to get something going with that. Instead, coming across a map, threatening with 4 Marines. And there are 4 Lings about to pop out here, so these Marines could end up dying very quickly. They're gonna run for it. Drones. Can he get any drone kills? Here comes the 6 Lings. 6 Lings is the antidote to this. Oh, he's getting caught on his own drone. Hold on. Light still might be able to win this fight. Not the greatest control here from Effort. Getting in there with the drone as well. He does get one last Marine, but loses a drone. 3 more sets of Lings are about to pop out. Can he get one more drone? Nice job making that into an extractor. Oh, here comes the Lings. They pop out. He's got speed now. With speed online, these Marines are not long for this world. They will both die. SCV gets a kill there. In fact, he's got 2 kills. What a baller SCV. This guy, absolute bamf of an SCV. Does end up getting taken out, but the Lings are now going to come across the map. This Marine trying to hide. Finds a little hidey hole over there on the left-hand side. Lings run by into the main. Just going to go ahead and run straight on in here and see what he can see. Definitely going to see an engineering bay being made in that production line. Tried to go to work on that SCV. If you can slow down the SCV at all, try to stop that engineering bay just for a second, it's huge. That does go down. Slows down the engineering bay for maybe half a second. Not even a full second there. Throwing up a 3rd base over at top center. And Light just going to push out immediately. Kind of late for a 5-minute push, but at least he will meet these mutas out on the map. I'm going to fall back just a little bit here as the muta number starts to grow. Has to be careful. Going up to like 8, 9 mutas right off the bat. Adding a few drones in between, but focusing primarily on getting these mutas out, spending all that gas. Doing a very good job here with the control. I think only 1 muta was lost so far, and they're going to start to finish off this Bioforce. So the first Bioforce is going to go down in short order. Nice pull. Really nice pull on that muta. Keeping that alive on just 8 HP. Can send it back home to just chill for a while if he so chooses. He does mix it back into the group, but it will start to heal up over time. Now flying in here. Just got to get lucky and not have this one Mutalist be targeted by the turret. It will go down super quick. Gonna come in here. Look for a bit of damage. Trying to pick off a turret. Oh, not quite able to get it. Nice repair on that turret. Very nice repair. Good surrounding from Light. He's on a bit of the defensive right now as he lost his first Bioforce, but Nice bouncing there. Getting some extra damage. We'll get a supply depot as well. And this is the problem. This is what I was talking about. Look at the turret setup. That is just an awkward turret setup. He can't cover everything. He can't cover the gas and the back of the mineral line and all these buildings down here all at the same time. He's got to kind of spread everything out, and it's kind of giving like a limited coverage to all these different locations. Oh, trapped SCV there as well. That's super frustrating. That'll probably be picked off by effort here in a moment. Can just go after the gas SCV as well, of course. Targeting the middle turret is kind of funny. And he actually goes in for a third swipe when 2 was going to be enough. Effort picks off a couple of turrets, but gets forced back immediately. This really didn't do much for him, especially now that light is out on the map. I guess it forces the bio to come out a little bit so that maybe he can surround and kill that. He's slowly adding on drones to his third base. This is the part of the game that I find the most difficult as the Zerg player. Hitting these upgrades, like getting, you see the Queen's Nest is on the way. You got to hit the Hive. You got to keep making mutas. You got to keep making drones over at the third. Keep on microing this perfectly to shave off the Marines while making this transition happen. It's just a lot of moving pieces. Effort walking that line really, really well, nicely, keeping himself in a good position here and getting out a lot of drones during all this. You can see he's up to 31 already. So he's just been constantly adding a steady flow of drones in between all of these mutas he's been making. This is a great trade as well. He's gonna get right on top of this. My goodness, the micro from effort is crazy good. The trade, able to fight toe to toe here. Does he have armor or something? No, he's only got attack. He's still managing to just straight up fight Light, who has that +1 attack online and is keeping his Marines pretty clumped up for the most part. It's not like he's doing a bad job of fighting with the Marines. It's just effort is getting big hits on every single attack and breaking down this bio ball over and over and over again, just keeping it low and taking advantage every opportunity he can. Science facility is very close to the wall, and so that's going to be slowed down by quite a bit. SCV will have to be pulled over to restart that. He could come back in and try to hit that again, but for now, more worried about this bio ball that's out on the map. The transition is fully underway now. I think we're going to have Hydralis Defiler gameplay from our Zerg. It's possible he switches into Ultras after the fact, but 3 gas, it's kind of hard to make that work. Might be able to slide down and grab a 4th gas just to the right of this third base. Effort still keeping a healthy count of mutas, but fully transitioning now, fully switching over to this play. Double science vessel on the way. We'll see if Light wants to mix it up with some dropships soon. Past the 11-minute mark now, and things are starting to cool off a little bit when it comes to this Mutalisk control. Effort going to be focusing on other things now, and just keeping these Mutalisks alive will be useful later on for sniping down vessels that have been plagued, and also for blocking any drops that come in the future. Oh, he's flying straight through. Like, he doesn't have a Scourge with this, but maybe was looking to 3-shot a science vessel. With this many mutas, it's definitely possible. Now gonna fly right in here to the main base. He's got lurkers back at home in the natural, so this is a big problem for effort, or for excuse me, Light. Effort gonna do a lot of damage with this, and Light gonna have to go on damage control mode, bring his science vessels back. His irradiate is not done, and effort can get a lot of kills here if he remains and keeps on hitting these bases. Go ahead and get rid of that Marine. Start to kill off some supply depots here in the corner. This is a lot of damage that comes out of this many mutas. Looks like he will have to fall back now, but effort making some good plays here as he continues to pump up that drone count. 44 drones Having to add a lot of macro hatcheries. In fact, 2 going up in the main already. Just gonna fly through. Does escape up into his corner of the map. It is missile attacks coming online here for Effort. So he will be opting to go full on Hydra Defiler mode. You can see he is preparing for any sort of a drop play that could come through. Still relying on just pure science vessel production. Light gonna move through the map. Finally, it's time to get aggressive. He hasn't really been on Effort's side of the map since that initial 4 Marine attack, or 5 Marine attack. So he's been in a bit of a defensive spot for a long time, looking for a snipe on this vessel. This is not to necessarily like kill the vessel, but more so just to prevent the vessel from irradiating this Defiler, because he doesn't want to keep making Defilers constantly if he can help it. Coming forward here, Plague on a lot of these Marines. The Scourge will be baited in, but getting the Plague off was the initial goal. Dropping a couple of Dark Swarms here. Gonna come through, try to get a kill on the vessel, but baits out an Irradiate instead. Scourge coming up, just again to just prevent Irradiates from going down. This is some very good play from Effort. He's got his Nidus Canal online now. Doesn't have a lot of defense over at this third, and actually could be broken here pretty easily, especially just the Nidus Canal quite exposed. So a little bit worried for that position if Light did commit over there. However, I think everything's been defended well enough up to this point, and Light hasn't taken advantage of him, that we're gonna see massive amounts of Hydra Defiler coming out of Effort now. He is really gonna get online with that 45 drone count, pushing forward to take his 4th. Dark Swarm here at the front does force the cancel there on that 4th base, but it's not an urgent situation for Effort. He wants to take good trades here and look for plagues. Lurkers push forward and they all get irradiated. Oh, the Scourge patch. The Scourge. Ah, the Scourge. Can they actually get the kill? Well, the Hydras will make it happen either way. Here, let me go ahead and change the colors here. There we go. I'm not a big fan of brown, but I also like to see plagues, so we'll switch it over to purple versus brown now. Light falling back and double expanding. Does he have some factories on the way? He's got 1 factory here to start producing. Does he have a armory? I don't see one. No armory just yet, but getting that +1 attack would be really beneficial. Very good way to fight back against this style. Dark Swarm's coming up. This is not the greatest engage I've seen from Effort. Running forward here, there's the Dark Swarm Plague, but he really needs to get a Plague on all of these vessels eventually. The vessel count is very high. It hasn't really killed many of them. Still 7 remain. He's going to continue to make them. 8 and 9 are about to pop out, so that's a crazy amount of energy production. And just raw irradiates that are going to be popping out here. Moving over to the left-hand side. Ooh, does get irradiated there with the Defiler, but the Defiler is going to live long enough to get these Lurkers covered. Now, the counterattack will probably kill. Oh, that was a big last shot from the Lurker there. Dark Swarm on top of this. Uh-oh, that was a mistake. He actually wanted to plague the army and then Dark Swarm it, but he threw the Dark Swarm down first. That was a bit of a mistake there. Can he bring some Lings and Lurkers forward to take advantage of this Dark Storm? Looks like he will, and he will keep the base alive as well. Managing to shut down one of Light's bases and keeps his own base alive. This is a big win here for Effort. Can he get a big plague? Oh, there's the big plague too. Huge, huge plague there. Gonna make his life a lot easier now. Trying to plague the medics. Gonna be a really strong way to remove that energy. You have to keep the medics moving, otherwise they're just gonna heal each other until they have nothing left. No energy left at all. Lurkers here are going to be irradiated down, and Hydras will eventually be dealt with. Lurkers, ooh, getting some good last shots there as well. Finally, the Lurkers do go down, though. Hydras coming forward here, just pure pure Marine. A lot of them are low on HP, so pure Marine not going to do too well. There's a couple of Scourge coming forward, finally picking off some of this. Some medics coming up here. They don't have much energy, but it looks like they might have enough. Going to target down the hatchery. Hatchery getting super low here. It will end up falling. Flag goes down there to follow that up, and Hydras will push everything back. In fact, killing most of the army. But losing the hatchery here for a second time, pretty annoying stuff for Effort. Effort's done a good job of shutting down bases, but here comes Light now. Gonna come up onto this high ground. Another Irradiate goes down on one of these Defilers. Gonna throw down a Dark Storm on the high ground, but it's not really gonna help him here. Let's take a look at the upgrades. +2 armor, +1 attack, 2/2 is done on the side of Light. Base over here on the center right. Or I guess top right corner. More Defilers being made. How are we doing on gas? This one is about to expire, so running out of gas here. Main is completely mined out. Natural is about to mine out here for Light as well. So both players are a bit strapped for resources. More so Light, though, who's about to run out. He needs another base online here fast. Lings are potentially available to go ahead and try to deny that. He does deny that base over there. It's an Irradiate on the Defiler. But it's looking like, you know, Effort has a good setup here to deny this push coming through. Lurkers running forward. Dark Swarm is going to come down here. Plague to follow. Plague on this army. There we go. Plague does go down, and he keeps the Defiler alive too, critically. Still has a very good supply of units at his rally point as well. Good spread of units. Let's take a look at Effort's vision right now. Look at that vision. Really does have a good cone of vision surrounding everything. Double dropship on the way here for Light. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Drops coming out. Tank count is starting to rise. So looking to get this other base online there. Very critical that he gets that online. He's on one base mining right now. He's starting to pump out the tanks. He's got to stay defensive and prevent one of these attacks from getting through and really dealing a lot of damage. Here comes a Defiler. That's going to be irradiated here. Mutas can do very good work against these tanks right now, of course. Tanks cannot shoot up. Good flag there. He's going to go after the... Oh, he gets it. He gets the base, the kill on that base. And so Light gonna have to restart that. Lurker Egg here. Might actually spot. Oh my gosh. Lurker Egg spots the double drop making its way into the main. Will he be able to react to that effort? I don't think he's seen it. Double drop in the main could be highly effective. A lot of chaos going on right now. Lings underneath this drop, but they're not going to be able to do too much. Needs to pull back the majority of his army, bringing back a Defiler. Going after the Defiler Mound. The Defiler Mound's going to be in a lot of trouble. +1 attack for Lings, or +2 attack from Lings is going to go down. +3 armor is already done. That Carapace has finished up, so that's the main thing. Oh, running his army into a bunch of Lurkers here. That's pretty sad for Light. He's going to lose a lot of this force. At the same time, the army here in the main gets cleared up. Lurkers over here at top right as well. Looks like these Marines are just going to die for free. Yeah, too much chaos going on right now for Light, and it's not working on his favor. This drop is supposed to create chaos that Light can then take advantage of, but it seems like Effort is the one who takes full advantage of the chaos happening all over the map. He manages to kill a big round of army coming out from Light over at this base, and he gets a counterattack going, plus he cleans out the main, and he stops this attack over towards the third. Coming over onto the high ground. He's going to burrow right in front of this tank. Gotta say, this is a very impressive Lurker Defiler, Hydra Lurker Defiler game from Effort. keeping on par with Light all the way through from start to finish, really holding him back and landing those difficult blows over and over again on this Terran player, stopping this base here, center left, multiple times. Now it's only one base mining, 36 workers remain. Army gonna be caught here, and a lot of that's gonna go down, targeting down the few remaining vessels as well. He's just gonna go ahead and plague the last of the army and force everything back. Really nice, making lurker eggs of those hydras there on the right-hand side. Just a bit of style points for the end, and effort takes this game away over Light. Excellent game, excellent showing from him. He's going to stick around for a little bit, send in all the forces. He's at 177 supply. Dude, what a crazy supply to be at. This is Sauron Zerg coming across the map. You usually see an army like this in ZVP. Very rarely in ZVT do you get an army this big with this many hydras, lings, and lurkers bearing down on your opponent. Excellent game from Effort. Actually, guys, I'm going to end the video there. We're going to continue on in the next part, guys. That'll be coming out tomorrow. More Effort gameplay. Stick around, subscribe, join the Patreon, support. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.